Hello BTS lovers. Breaking news, conspiracy behind HYBE. Jungkook opened the voice. His confession shocked the K-pop world and made the army not believe it. BTS's golden magne, who has been known to be the most secretive and meticulous in guarding every word that comes out of his mouth, finally broke the silence with a sentence that shook the foundations of ARMY's trust in the agency that has been raising btsjk's name. In a rare and tense moment, Jungkook stood up not just as an idol, but as a human being who finally couldn't stand still anymore. "That's enough," he said slowly but firmly, and the world was suddenly silent. That one word blew up thousands of speculations. In an exclusive interview that was never expected to happen, Jungkook gave an answer that was not only honest, but contained the pain, pent-up anger, and courage that had been locked behind a sweet smile and a sparkling stage. Jungkook, who is known to be the most loyal to his team, the quietest when there is internal gossip, finally said out loud, "We are not puppets. We're human. And it's been too long. Too many things you don't know." What really happened behind the closed doors of HYBE? Why is Jungkook finally opened his voice now, amid all the solo success and glory of the BTS group that is on a break for military service? Is this a betrayal of his own agency, or is it a love for fans and a truth that has been buried too deep? The K-pop world seems to be split. Some thought Jungkook was too bold. Some say it's time. And not a few were crying, because in every word that Jungkook said, there was a wound that had not been seen. In an emotional confession delivered via a private live stream channel that went viral in 78 countries, Jungkook opened up sheet by sheet about how he felt silenced, restrained, and even driven to maintain a perfect image that was actually far from reality. We live in a world shaped by others, and every time we try to talk, they rearrange the narrative, she says with eyes that can no longer hide tears. Thousands of soldiers who watched the live broadcast immediately flooded the comments with concern, support, and anger. "What are you going through, Jungkook?" is a question that continues to resonate. Jungkook did not name names directly, but there are clues that make the public connect it all with the powerful figure behind HYBE, Bang Se-hyuk. The figure touted as the father of BTS, who created the system and formula for their global success, suddenly became the center of a big question. Is it true? All this time there has been an invisible prison that restricts the freedom of BTS members? Is it true that their solo projects, including Jungkook's, are not entirely a matter of choice, but rather a cold and measured corporate strategy? One of Jungkook's most viral quotes of the night was, "We were given the illusion that we had a choice, but every option we take is predetermined by the end of the story." That sentence gave a lot of fans goosebumps. This is not just a complaint about work pressure. This is a painful statement that even their personal life has been mastered. And even more surprising was when Jungkook mentioned the golden contract, a term that, according to rumors, is only given to artists who agree to obey all HYBE's directions without compromise. There is a price to pay to be in this position. And sometimes, the price is yourself, Jungkook said in a hoarse voice. The reaction from HYBE's side was swift, but full of question marks. Within just 3 hours of Jungkook's viral broadcast, HYBE's official account uploaded a statement that many considered a panic response. They said Jungkook's comments were the result of excessive personal emotion and do not reflect the overall reality of the relationship between artist and agency. The statement did not ease the atmosphere, it made things worse. The army was furious. Did you say Jungkook overreacted? He never spoke carelessly. He has a huge fan base on Twitter. The hashtag We Believe You Jungkook instantly became the #1 trending in the world in less than an hour. Thousands of fans began to dig back into old interviews, clips that used to look ordinary, but now feel full of ciphers. Jungkook's blank stare in the middle of an interview, a stiff smile when asked about a particular project, and a long silence when asked for his opinion on HYBE's policies. Many concluded that it was all a form of code from Jungkook all along, but it was never understood. And then, there's an old clip from 2022 where Jungkook says in a joke that no longer sounds funny, "If I could choose everything myself, I would live in a different place, with a different schedule, maybe be a different person." At that moment, the fans laughed. But today, that laughter turned into silence. Is it true that Jungkook hasn't been living as himself all this time? What makes the atmosphere even more dramatic is the emergence of testimony from former HYBE staff, who claim that pressure on BTS members has been higher since the company made a major expansion. They no longer treat BTS as artists, but as assets, said the staffer, who chose not to be named. According to him, major decisions regarding the activities of the members come more from the meeting room, not from the members themselves. Jungkook protests most often, but that's exactly what makes it even more watched, he said. Surprisingly, an insider from the K-pop industry even mentioned that Jungkook had been in a period of emotional quarantine for months due to his rejection of certain advertising projects that were considered incompatible with his personal values. He doesn't want to be the face of something he doesn't believe in. But they forced it. And when he refused, they removed all his agendas for almost 2 months, he said. If true, then it's not just about business disagreements. It's about one's right to choose one's own path, and Jungkook doesn't have that. The story becomes even more heartbreaking when it becomes known that Jungkook's main reason for opening up is not to attack anyone, but because he feels a responsibility to the fans who have loved him unconditionally. I think you have a right to know. If you've ever loved me for who I am, you should know who I am, not the version that someone else designed, he said in a trembling voice. Many observers call this moment one of the most important events in the history of K-pop. It's not just about an idol expressing his grievances. This is a signal that the system that we have considered to be working perfectly turns out to hide invisible deep wounds, said a Korean music journalist. Even international media outlets such as Billboard and Rolling Stone took issue, calling it a moment of silent rebellion from the brightest star in the K-pop industry. But the biggest question remains hanging. What will happen next? Will HYBE take legal action against Jungkook? Will the contract be changed, or will it be terminated? Is this a sign that BTS, a group that has always been unshakable by anything, will face an uncertain future? To be sure, Jungkook had opened the door. And as soon as that door opens, everything that is hidden behind it will begin to be visible, including the dark side of the industry that has only shown the light of the stage, including the injuries that have been hidden behind the camera lens, including the truth that has been suppressed by a system that is so neat, so strong, but also so cold. Whatever happens, one thing is certain. Jungkook has chosen to stand on the side of honesty. And for that, he will always be loved. Not because he was perfect, but because he was brave, because he's human, and because at last he spoke.